Any of you have seen me talk before here today, and last year I talked about the Future Energy Jobs Act. But I'm not going to talk about the technical part of the Future Energy Jobs Act right now. I'm going to talk about how we are going to pivot the clean energy focus in Illinois into a jobs training development program. And how we're doing that through FEJA is through craft apprenticeship programs, a solar pipeline training program, and a multicultural program. So there's money allotted that goes towards these development programs in Illinois. I'm going to talk about the money that ComEd is putting forth in this. They are expected to pay $30 million for these training programs, and I can give you a story because I actually met one of the trainees a month ago, because sometimes laws are implemented, they have great intent behind them, but you never actually get to see what actually happens with those laws. So I wanted to see, well, what's actually happening with these solar training programs? Who's being trained? Is it really meant to be the way that it was written? And in fact, it was. I went to the OAI training in Chicago. OAI stands for Opportunity Advancement, Innovation, and Workforce Development. They received one of the ComEd grants, and they have classes of 20. They target individuals for their training programs that may not have access to education because of perhaps a barrier to entry. They may have a felony conviction. They may not have the required high school degree. So one story is about this woman named Crystal. And she was actually waiting in line at the public aid office when she happened to fall upon a pamphlet from OAI about the solar installation program. And at the time, she was making minimum wage, working for a chain restaurant, working weekends while raising 3 kids on her own. And she picked up the pamphlet, she called the number, and it happened to be the last day that they were signing up candidates for their 20 trainee program. And they said, come down right away. She signed up. She took this arduous physical exam, this math exam, and by sheer will and determination, she passed everything. She really impressed the training program managers who actually look for candidates that are self-motivated, and she was definitely a self-motivated candidate. And fast forward to the completion of the training, which includes safety training, OSHA training, and basic industry-related education. And my favorite part about this program is that they have a superhero class. So the superhero class gives the trainees life challenge training. So instead of dealing with a life challenge and giving up, they're given skills to cope and actually bring other people along with them. So today, Crystal is working for a solar installation company. She is making way beyond minimum wage. She has health benefits, and she's actually thinking about a future in the space. She's thinking about learning more about the business end of this. And she is thinking about someday owning her own installation company. So it's working in Illinois. FEJA and its workforce training component really has enabled a lot of people like Crystal to move up and be gainfully employed, and she has a work-life balance. Her children now think that she works on skyscrapers, and they love what she does, and they talk about it all the time. So that's one of the programs that's working in Illinois that addresses social equity, and it all happened through bipartisan legislation known as the Future Energy Jobs Act.
Yeah, so I think you made a very important point because we really heard about the impact that these types of programs can have on someone's lives. But I think maybe equally important is maybe expand a little bit more about that outreach of how that program actually reached her. In this case, it was kind of in a coincidence, so to speak. But if we are going to really push the needle here, we have to find more ways to engage people where they're at and in new ways. So maybe expand how that program is being marketed and people are reaching out to there. I think there was some context there.
So I actually met with the current trainee class, and a lot of what they said, one individual said, look, I'm learning everything that I was what I was about to pay a 3-year community college program, a lot of money that I don't have to learn here for free. And I'm learning a lot more, and I'm so engaged, and they really appreciated their teacher. They were really enthusiastic about the work they were doing. And again, I really liked his point that he's getting something that he didn't have to pay for in a shorter amount of time than he would if he went to a community college and had to spend a lot of money on. So these programs are aimed towards economically disadvantaged individuals who, for example, minorities, children that were in foster care system, women and veterans. And like I said before, some with felony convictions that can't enter the workplace otherwise.
Okay, so that's great. So taking that targeted approach of identifying these folks, knowing where they're at, and approaching them with a message that really resonates to them. So thank you. So you talked about this as a solar training program. Obviously here in Texas, we kicked the day off with the representative from El Paso Electric and talked about their solar program. So what else is Illinois doing to provide solar access to disadvantaged communities?
So also under the Future Energy Jobs Act, we have the Illinois Solar for All program. So there are some communities that can't afford having solar installation, or communities that can't have it because of zoning rules. So the Illinois Solar for All is an incentive program where generous renewable energy credit contracts feature additional premiums that incent low-income participation in solar projects, whether as a system owner, a community solar project subscriber, or as a system host. So the procurement of those RECs is managed by the Illinois Power Agency. So in addition to REC delivery contracts, it ensures that the IPA collaborates with community agencies and allocates up to 5% of the funds available under the Illinois Solar for All program to community-based groups.
Oh, that's excellent. So outside of solar, what are some of the other programs that Illinois is implementing to address social equity?
So the Illinois Commerce Commission has historically and recently been one of the most diverse commissions in the country. I'll give you a statistic of all of the commissioners around the country in every state. There are only right now 4 Latinos. 2 of us are in Illinois, and 1 is in Arizona, and 1 is in, I believe, New Mexico. So that statistic is staggering in 2019, and we hope to change that, and we hope to lead by example. In Illinois, we mandate our utilities to report. We don't mandate them to spend a certain amount, but we do require them to file an annual report on their procurement goals for diversity spend with vendor contracting and on their actual spend for the year prior. That resulted in 2017 a number of $2 billion in spend by all of our investor-owned utilities in Illinois on diverse, so that's women-owned businesses, minority-owned businesses, veteran-owned businesses. That's how much they spent in 2017, $2 billion. That's amazing, and we hope that that number grows. And it isn't just in what you think of traditional utility vendor contracting, construction jobs. We also expect it in the professional services sector. So hiring diverse law firms for their legal work, hiring diverse investment firms for their investment banking work. So we expect it across all sectors of their contracting.
Great. So what has been that response for that reporting? And is it positive? And does it infuse small businesses, maybe, for example, too?
Yeah, so it's been very positive. The amount of spend has grown year after year. It has grown in the sectors that I've said, years past, there wasn't as much as there is in professional services. And what we do every year is we have a policy session where we call in our utility CEOs to actually give us their report in person. And we also invite other stakeholders. So we invite some of those small businesses, we invite the minority-owned businesses to share some of the challenges that they are experiencing so that the utility CEOs can actually hear firsthand from them what they're facing in the contracting process. For example, one complaint was that a lot of the services were bundled. So maybe a truck cleaning company was being bundled with another related service, so that eliminated one business from being able to enter the space. Another challenge was that they weren't getting feedback at the end of the bidding process as to why they lost the bid, so they wanted more feedback. And so these are all things that now we expect our utilities to address for the coming year.
Oh, that's excellent. So maybe taking a personal touch here with the last few minutes, you guys recently added a second Latina
Yes.
commissioner. What's that been like? I know first as you were the first Latina commissioner, right, in Illinois. And what does that feel like to have a peer colleague on there?
It feels great. So I'm the first Latina commissioner on the Illinois Commerce Commission. I'm the first Latina to chair the NARUC Supplier and Workforce Diversity Subcommittee. And I'm so excited that another Latina, Maria Bocanegra, joined us as a commissioner on the Illinois Commerce Commission. And we have another woman who just joined us, Carrie Zalewski. She was also named a commissioner. So now we have a majority women commission for the first time in Illinois history. So it's really exciting what's happening. Yeah.
That's great. So full disclosure, so Sazi is actually on our ETS committee, and some of the themes you see here has been a lot of her voice resonating through that, in that I would say we have a champion, not just for diversity in people of color and voices, but bringing you people to the table. So it's great to see, being a Latino myself, just to be upstage with you and see what you've done. And we're great that we can share this message here. So congratulations and great work.
Thank you so much for inviting me again. Thank you to Ricky Murray so much, and for my legal and policy advisor, Gerardo, for helping us. We had a disruption today with Joe Dominguez not being able to make it, and I think we just did a really great job and got to share what we're doing in Illinois and in the diversity space.
Yeah. So I guess just to end on the final, what do you think is that true? What is what is the multiplier that comes into effect when you bring new voices or diversify the conversation? Like, what have you seen that do?
I've seen that we lead by example. So if the utilities that we regulate see that we're a diverse commission, they then, and I have to say, the utilities in Illinois are great at this. They make diversity and inclusion a priority and a value for their companies. We're very lucky in Illinois to have CEOs from diverse backgrounds. We have two CEOs that are African American. We had Ann Parmajori, who was a woman at ComEd, and now she's at Exelon. Now we have Joe Dominguez, a Hispanic, who's the CEO of ComEd. So we're so fortunate in Illinois that that value comes from the top. So it's been very easy for us.
All right. Well, I think we're about out of time. Anything else, or?
No,
All right, well, thank you. Give Sazi a round of applause. She just came off a panel and literally ran up here to the stage, and I think it worked out well, and we're really excited to share this message and some of the good work that you guys are doing, and we all hope to learn more and share more, and thank you for being here.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.